Hello. So, I haven't recorded too much in the last few weeks, and I really miss it. But I've sort of been going through like an internal and external reorg, if you want to put it that way, right as I was about to push record. So I just decided to start recording like within the last 20 seconds. And I was like, okay, let me just like push record right now. Literally, as soon as the thought came and my finger went to my phone, got to the recording app, about to push the button, my background changed. I've been listening to subliminals again when I can. I feel like whenever I'm in any sort of like fast-paced environment or in public, often I feel like subliminals like really help me sort of just transmute any external debris, if you will, or imprints. And anyway, so it changed in the second that I was about to record, and I just feel like that is so synchronistic. And when I went to tune in, so actually, before I'm going to bed, I just got tingles on the crown of my head so intensely. And my sister, I'm staying with my sister right now in Seattle. It's my first time in Seattle. And my brother-in-law and their 2 kids, they just bought a house here. So my sister and I flew in together the other day. And this is both of our first time coming to Seattle. And when we were descending, like landing from the plane, my crown is tingling so much. The color purple, violet, ultraviolet has been coming through so strongly this week. So I feel like, and the fact that I was about to talk about that, my crown is tingling so intensely, I feel like there is this like collective crown flowering. I'm seeing like, how do I put this? It's almost as if like when I'm hearing like the collective crown frequency sharing. Interesting. So it's like a lot of us who are already very tuned into our, like with an open crown energy center, it's like this telepathic, like I'm seeing like laser beams. There's like connection points that are being established, or the next octave of telepathy, channeling, intuitive knowing is like deepening. So, if you're someone who's just kind of getting into this, there may be like almost like not fast tracked, but sort of. I also see 1111 on my computer right now. And this is another YouTube transmission where I'm recording out of order. I have like 4 or 5 Patreon backlogged, which I don't usually let myself get to. But I've just been really feeling the pull to like post more on YouTube right now. I wasn't even planning on going into this like deep. I was more just going to post an update, but that came through so effortlessly. And I feel like that's also a message in itself. As soon as I said that, my computer screen went black. So that's perfect segue, because I was just about to say I was really going to just address the sort of like redirection, reorg, refocus type of energy. So you may be going through this yourself, or maybe you're about to. For a few of you, you may be wanting to do this, but you may feel like a little nervous or scared to like pull back or lose momentum in something. And when I was just about to go to sleep, like I was mentioning, and I felt like I needed to brain dump, and I've been working a lot with Google Gemini. I call it Gem. And I do write about my perspective on artificial intelligence on Substack a little bit. I think it's in the very first Substack article I've ever written. So yeah, you can check that out if you want to know more. But I have to say that it's really been good for me, at least right now, and the way that I'm working with it. And anyway, so I was kind of brain dumping, and I never used to really like plan my weeks, and I still don't exactly, but this like helps me, like it's really helping me structure my thoughts and projects, etc. Anyway, so I was doing that, and when I wrote a few different points of something I wanted to focus on, there was a suggestion that came up about like balancing my different input output experiences right now. And I just want to read what it wrote back to me, because it just like clicks something in my brain, and I feel like it may help someone else, or validate someone else. Not that I'm, again, relying on AI, this is like my own information. I fed it. It's just the way that it like restructured it for me helped me see it a little bit differently. I just want to make that also very clear. A lot of this is also just like filtering, is that the right word? Filtered water, or someone could be really interested right now in like looking into their water source, or like the mineral content of water, or just like the structure of water. That could be like a confirmation for someone, or maybe someone's feeling guided to do that. But like right now, for example, because I'm staying with my sister and her kids and my brother-in-law, we're all trying to work out like whatever is best for everyone. Like I'm helping them, but also trying to focus on my own stuff. So I was just kind of like I said, brain dumping. And one of the suggestions was to take like a 15-minute buffer to like, one of the first things I do for the energetic container, to like focus on my personal reorg, if you will. Which it's funny because I've kind of intuitively already been doing that. So sometimes that will happen where like I put a bunch of information and it like pulls back to me what I'm already doing, but just kind of like I said, in like a bullet point way. Like, when there's a lot going on, or, for me, because I'm not used to being in such fast paced energy, and like my sister and her husband are awesome, but they're like a very fast paced family. So for me, I'm like, there's like a lot going on. So this just kind of helps me like mirror back my own thoughts, so I don't have to, like sit with it for too long. Anyway, so that could be relevant for someone, but I love this. So I've been redesigning my Patreon, and I now have 3 tiers. I'm still a little bit in the editing process, but I have a tendency to like be a bit perfectionistic and wait for everything to be quote perfect, which I know is just an illusion. But so it's technically finished, but I do have to like edit some of the, just finish editing some of the descriptions, and some of the titles are still maybe up in question, but the energetic imprint is already official. It's just like tweaking some things. So if anyone's interested in that, I did just redesign the Patreon, like I mentioned, and tried to do, like I said, I have 3 tiers for different needs and interest levels in whatever I'm creating. So, really co-creating. So yeah, that is available if anyone's interested. But the reflection back encouraged me to record just like in like a little update sort of transmission. And yeah, being in Seattle, I was talking about the plane when I was descending into Seattle, and my sister and I were both looking at each other like, I don't know, it's like the lighting was different. There was just like this pastel, ultraviolet, energetic like imprint that I kept feeling. My sister and I are very different. Like, she wouldn't describe it necessarily that way, but even she was saying like, wow, this feels so different. And like the water, the air, like everything here just feels so, and I've been like calling this in for a long time. I don't think I'm going to be in Seattle for maybe more than 2 months, but like to experience somewhere that just feels that like fresh, crisp sort of energy. And yes, people talk about the rain, but there is this like, I've made a joke, like I feel like like a mer being walking around, just constantly being like, there's like a light mist in the air. I've only been here a few days, but it's like, I don't know, it's just such an interesting feeling. Yeah, so this like reorganizing of my blueprint, building something new, and I just wanted to share a bit of it and just tune into the like that ultraviolet frequency. The pastel heliometallic spectrum has been so prominent, but especially in like the like blues, purple, pink sort of energy. So like heart to crown is like extremely significant right now, and above. I just heard in my head the Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond from Toy Story. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, so I have so many bullet point notes and sign synchronicities that I've been recording, like so many that I'm almost a little bit overwhelmed, because I wanted this just to be a sort of quick tap-in reorg update transmission. Oh wow, it's already been 11 minutes. And it's 11 o'clock on my... So it was just 11:25 on my phone and then 11:25 on the timer. Like, that happens every once in a while, and I don't know why, it just always makes me feel so, like, in sync. So it's really funny. I didn't mean to say in sync, but there was a song from NSYNC, like a holiday song, in my head all day, which, like, I obviously don't listen to NSYNC very often, but so the band NSYNC could be like a synchronicity for someone, or maybe you just heard them, or maybe you'll hear them soon, or someone's gonna like mention them. Also, the movie, they're mentioned in the movie Just Go With It, Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, so there could be something with that as well. 1 second. Oh, I just realized also today is like the 11/11 portal. A lot of people are mentioning, and it took me a second. I'm like 11/11, and I realized how we got there. Usually I'm more tapped into that, but like I said, it's been a lot of moving parts lately. Especially like physically, logistically. Okay, so I want to take another second and see if there's anything else. Okay, so I just went to look at my list of video notes that I keep, and I like literally heard in my head the Michael and Janet Jackson song Scream, when they like start to scream, and I like saw them both like in the video when they kind of like pulled their hands to their head and ducked down. I don't know if that's so specific, but it was like I couldn't even look at the list because I heard it so loudly in my head. So yeah, that song could be relevant for someone. The song was also like so ahead of its time, so I feel like there is this energy of like Aquarian energy, feeling maybe a bit futuristic. I'm also seeing the word futurist, so someone here may identify as a futurist, or maybe you're just like into the idea of futurism. But is that a word, futurism? Okay, and it's like I'm having sample songs just like running through my head. Now I'm hearing the song Love Me Like You Do. I don't know who sings that. Maybe Halsey? It's like, what are you waiting for? I have to look it up. Also, I never really used to like cinnamon, and all of a sudden I'm like liking cinnamon. Oh, that's not true. When I was a kid, I liked cinnamon. I forgot about that. Anyway, cinnamon could be relevant. I've been drinking cinnamon tea, and then I kept all of a sudden just hearing that song Sweet Like Cinnamon from Lana Del Rey in my head. And every time that song has been like, I don't know, just like a go-to song of mine this last year or two. Like, do you have like a song or some sort of like movie phrase, quote, poem, book, maybe multiple things that like help you tune into a specific energy or frequency that you're calling in. Because that song kind of helps me like stay present and like in an energy of something that I want to experience. You know, like sweet, now my life is sweet like cinnamon. And okay, so the song Love Me Like You Do, which it just popped in my head so fast. It's from 2015, and we just left 2026 when I'm recording this, so 11 years ago. Again, that number 11 is coming through. There could be some sort of like cycle that you just closed or closing from 2015. I just got that. Also, the song is not by Halsey, it's Ellie Goulding, and something that came up with the lyrics is a sky that's like exactly what I was just describing. That's so crazy. It's like mountainous, and when I flew into, I almost said Colorado, so Colorado could be significant, but I meant to say, I almost said Detroit. I'm like hearing all these things and I'm trying to say, where am I? Seattle. So Detroit or Colorado could be significant, but you could see the mountains with snow on top as you were descending into Seattle, Washington, and literally this photo with the lyrics for Love Me Like You Do is like pink and purple skies with like a mountain and some snow on top. Like it's exactly what I was just talking about. So very unexpected. Okay, so there could be a romantic telepathic message through this song, Love Me Like You Do, for sure. I feel that, so strongly. But I was just guided to look at the lyrics, and the word blood, the phrase Holy Grail, and the word satellites, those stood out to me the most. So there could be like bloodlines, grail lines, if you're into that sort of like ascension mechanic teachings, that could be kind of calling you right now, or there could be like something being revealed. I'm also seeing like there was this story, I don't remember where I heard it from, but it's coming up. It was years ago, and this person claimed to have some sort of experience. I just heard the phrase user experience. Someone here could be like a designer of user experience. I don't know, I just heard that. That's very specific, but metaphorically, there's something about metaphysical experiences. Maybe you have been having some lately, or maybe you've been guided to share them, or maybe you just shared it. There's something of that nature. And this person was saying that they had an encounter with beings that took this essentially like they could utilize the blood to essentially get a map of a person's like soul imprint. Like I'm hearing the word genome. I'm not sure why I was being shown that, but I was being shown that. So okay, 1827 on the timer. I just felt guided to say that number. Okay. Speaking of mountains, the other night I was falling asleep. I was still in Philadelphia. So in the last few weeks, I was in Florida. Then very, very abrupt changes took me back to my hometown of Philadelphia unexpectedly. So I was in Philly for a few weeks, and I kept seeing this, like a few nights before I left, an image of Twin Peaks. I just like was falling asleep and saw these like Twin Peaks, and I heard in my head Twin Peaks, and I looked it up, and it was a show that I'd never seen. But the next morning, like the following day, I was staying with my friends. They just got married, and my friend said something about Twin Peaks, and like we never talked about that. I barely even knew what it was, and I was like, that's crazy. I was falling asleep last night and I saw it. So things like that could be happening where you're like picking up on things like right before they happen or getting a heads up. But either way, in the mountains were significant. And now I forgot I had written down Twin Peaks. I also wrote down 2222. Another song that kept coming through for days. I kept hearing it in my head. Genuine Differences. So that could have a message for you as well. Every Day It Will Rain, Bruno Mars. And then, it's funny, that was right before I came to Seattle. Anyway, so yeah, it was Philly, or it was Florida, Philly, then San Francisco for a few days, and now Seattle. I'm not sure, those like places may have some resonance for some of you. Also, the Sphinx kept coming up. Like, I kept seeing so many different references to the Sphinx. And, you know, they say, like, the Sphinx paw. There's, like, a lot of controversy around how old the Sphinx is, what's really under the paw. I just heard Sister Sphinx. I think there's also something about, like, now I'm being shown satellites again. So there could be this connection to, like, I'm hearing, like, tracking devices, satellites, Sphinx. Maybe someone here is, like, into that sort of, like, ET connection, ancient technology, something of that nature. Whew, and I just felt something. I saw 2112 on the timer. You could be seeing mirroring numbers, 1212. And I just felt something in my left hip, like, oh, just kind of like a light up. I just heard like baby bearing hips. I don't know, maybe someone here like says that or has that or gets told that. Okay, this may be very specific. I had a dream where, so funny, right as I was about to say that, the washer or dryer just started going off. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. So this could be like a confirmation for someone. So in the dream, and now I use this phrase very lightly. This is just the way it came through my dream. So I'm going to use this phrase, but keep in mind that it's not something that I really hold too tightly to. I think I was in some sort of theater, actually, and I met someone, a woman, and she started just like talking to me. And I don't know who she is. I still don't know who she is. And in the dream, I didn't know who she was. But I remember that she had straight brown hair. So someone here could have straight brown hair. Maybe like in between the shoulder and the elbow crease. So like like long, straight brown hair. Not so long though. She looked a little bit like Bethany Frankel, maybe, in the dream. Like, maybe not as, like, a done-up version. Anyway. So we were talking in the dream, and she was telling me that she thinks she has a sister who is what she called a twin flame, but they hadn't spoken in, I think it was 26 years. The name Meg came through. I don't know if it was her name. I think the sister's name was Meg. Or those initials, MEG. And in the dream, she wanted to get information about this. And I was getting messages for her. And it's funny because I've had a very hard time, like, just full transparency with, like, charging for services in this arena because, well, there's a lot of reasons why. Just sort of reconciling a lot of that. So in this dream, it felt like, anyway, so the person was like wanting me to give her all this information. And I did give her some. And I said, listen, if you want to go deeper, like, you know, my time is valuable and we're going to have to do some sort of like reciprocal exchange. And she was like, never mind. I don't need it that badly. And I was like, you know, I had like a choice to make, and I was like, okay, like I understand, but this is me like valuing myself. So, you know, if that's not aligned for you, like I totally understand, but this is just where I'm at right now. And that was like a big feat for me. So maybe some of you are going through this yourselves. Like maybe it's been a challenge, whether it's like charging or raising prices or however it comes through for you, but like just sort of honoring your own value, Anyway, so in the dream, I did say there was one more thing, that I was drawn to the left femur, and I said there's something about the left femur, like, and I think I said the word tattoo, like a tattoo or a birthmark, and she was like, oh, I have a tattoo on my left femur. So like she walked away and then came back in the dream and was like, okay, I need to book a session with you. Like that was like she was like, that was my marker to see if you would get, if I was like supposed to work with you. And then in the dream, she wound up like reciprocating the energy after I but she did walk away, and I was okay with that. And then it came back. So all of this seems pretty like symbolic in a lot of different ways, and may hit for different people in different ways as well. Also, the name Diane came through the dream. And it's funny because right under that, I just realized I wrote restriction lifted. That phrase has been coming through so strongly the last 2 weeks. Restriction lifted. So that can mean, again, different things to different people, but it feels like whatever this, like, I'm hearing karmic cap. There's been like this karmic cap where, of course, karmic is a word that translates to action, right? So this like action cap of like, I'm seeing this like, it's funny, I drove by this like really beautiful, like essentially adult human terrarium in Seattle. Some of you may have heard of this before. I have not. But it's almost like, yeah, you like energetically, a lot of us, if you're tuned into this frequency or this energy, it's like we've had this certain like playing ground, if you will, where it's like no matter what we've been doing, you could have tried like so many different techniques, and it's like certain desires just may have not physicalized yet, and you may feel like, oh my god, there's something wrong with me, or I'm not following the right technique, or whatever it is. I have blocks, quote, but it, please take this only if you feel this for you. But what has really been coming through is like there's still a timing element, and like there's nothing wrong with you. There's just some of us have chosen like a specific like alignment for sort of like, there's someone on Instagram or YouTube. I don't remember. I think her name is Margot. I wish I remembered her handle name. I can't remember at the moment, but she always uses the phrase upfronting your karma. So like some of us chose to, like, as she says, upfront our karma, so that when we do sort of come into our karmic justice, if you will, there's a clear space, like the restrictions are lifted. So I feel like if you're finding this, the restrictions have been lifted, and there's about to be this next octave that is showing up for you in your really like all areas of life, the balancing of the scales. And I have been seeing so many zeros. Of course, it's 11:43 on my clock right now, and that number is very significant for me. And you may have heard me say before, 43 is my like hieroglyphic template or divine union number, and in particular 1143 is like a very specific number code for me. And the fact that today's 1111 portal, there's just something very significant, not only with the beginning of this message, but the crown, the heart, throat alignment, and telepathic or telekinetic expansion, not only within the self, but within others. It does also feel like there's this hieroglyphic template elevation. So that may mean different things for different people. But if you do feel tapped into that, however it comes through for you, like in the dream, this person felt like it was her sister, who they didn't speak to, like, quote, the separation. For some of you, it may be same sex, like, woman and woman, or predominantly feminine frequency. There's something, the word frequency has been coming through so strongly this whole transmission. So it feels like also there is, someone else actually posted about this, and I was feeling this energy so strongly. Like, I don't remember her name to shout her out, but she was speaking about how like a subconscious clearing of past associations. So let's say you have like specific birds that connect you to a specific person in your life, and every time you see that bird, you know they're gonna like reach out to you or something like that. There could be this like clearing of certain associations that no longer serve you. Maybe not all of them though. Some of you maybe not. But it's like this wave coming to clear. It's funny because my brother-in-law and my sister took their kids to an aquarium today in Seattle, and I was going to go, but I didn't go. And they were saying, my brother-in-law was like, it was so cool. They could see like the wave coming in and like watching the process of the fish, of how they like approach the wave and then get washed out. So there's something about that like process, like something about the process rearranging, again, that reorg energy coming through. And you know that, do you remember that show, How It's Made? It's like you're seeing something like how it's made, like something behind the scenes, you know? And it's funny because that phrase did come through when I was brain dumping with Gemini about sharing behind the scenes. So How I Met Your Mother is coming through. I just saw an episode from How I Met Your Mother where they do like a quote like behind the scenes on Robin Sparkles. If you've seen the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I'm right near Canada, and there's a lot about Canada. Canada's been coming up so much lately as well. Okay. I'm being shown like the cold weather. It's funny because I've been like for so long like thinking I want to just be around the sun and warm weather and warm weather and warm weather. And I had this woman years ago, like a couple years ago, tell me that I would do really well in like a colder climate. I actually forgot about that until right now. And I was like, oh, but I want to be in the sun. And I'm being shown like the structure of water again, and like crystalline codes through like snow, water. There's something about like crisp, cool air. So whether it's like, you know, something you just tap into energetically, or like maybe show up physically, like maybe some of you like, you know, like I keep saying like, oh my God, I got stuck in a like loop. I've been really trying to not say like so much, and it's like the more I try not to, the more I do it. I was saying to my brother-in-law, it's like, are you breathing? Or maybe he mentioned it to me. We were talking about like breathing. And I've only been here for like 3 days, maybe 2 days. And I swear I can feel a difference in my breathing. Yeah, there's just like this, I can't stop saying like, I'm hearing in my head now, moly, 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 mole. Where's that from? Austin Powers. I'm not sure why it's coming through either. Maybe someone has like a very specific mole identifier. So yeah, or it could be the opposite for somebody. There's something about like a climate change. So whether you're like not in the ideal climate, or you're being guided to go somewhere even though you didn't think you'd like wind up there. Like I never thought I'd be in Seattle. It's not somewhere I was like, I really want to visit Seattle. Like it hasn't really come up. But now I'm here and I'm like, I kind of really love it. It's actually really great. Anyways, there's something like that coming through for some of you. Okay, so the restriction lifted. Yeah, so like, for example, in your finances, if you feel like you've been like really going through it with that and just not able to like quantum leap out of your current, wherever you're at with that, I feel like there's going to be some sort of shift, like a swift shift is the phrase that's coming through. It's just an example. But again, it feels like multiple areas of life. And I was talking about this dream that I kept having about a Ferris wheel. I've mentioned it multiple times on this channel. I'm not going to go into it right now, but when I first flew into Seattle, one of the main attractions was this like lit up pastel, I think it's like pastel blue. I have to see it again. Ferris wheel. And I was like, oh, that's been such a strong sign or synchronicity that's been coming through for a long time. And then the phrase, so I was with my nephew outside. He's like 3.5, and we were looking at the stars. And I said something about the North Star. And he's like, oh, I see it. And we were just talking about it. And then right after that, I can't even tell you how many times the North Star came up that week. Like, infinite amount of times. I'm being dramatic. It was not infinite, but it was a lot. So I knew there was something about, like, the, destiny timeline, facing your North Star. Like, this whole idea is, like, really strong whenever you're finding this. Like, there's something that's going to be, like, your compass. I'm seeing a compass that's, like, almost out of control. And then it just, every time you try to shake it, it just keeps pointing, like, due north, due north, due north. And there's also a card in the Rebecca Campbell deck. Don't overthink it. You're already doing it. Keep facing your true north. Like, I'm seeing that and feeling that so strongly. And I just want to say, like, if you do have, like, an intuitive nudge or feeling that, like, there is a redirection or something that you do need to shift up or change, please, like, trust that. So when I say that, it's up to you to, of course, like, fine-tune your adjustments, but that is coming through. Also, I, a few years back, and I've also mentioned this before, had a beautiful visual experience when I was with this person. We were together in a room, and my eyes were shut, and I saw this, like, whole black screen, if you will, and then all of these, like, neon puzzle pieces start, like, shifting and moving around. And ever since then, I find puzzle pieces in very synchronistic ways, or they'll show up in weird ways, with, like, encrypted messages kind of thing. And the other day, I was having, like, all of these different signs and synchronicities about the hieroglyphic template, and then I found this, like, lonely one puzzle piece that was just, like, by itself. And I, like, had a reminder of that visual experience. I keep wanting to say, like, user experience, sensory experience, visual experience. There's something about the word experience coming through. So puzzle pieces could be significant. Also, I've been playing the match game with my nephew, and I was seeing, like, everything's, like, doubles, right? So there's something about that too. And then I was thinking, like, the match game, like, the newlywed game for some reason was coming through. I don't know if anyone remembers that. And I just heard the name in my head, Bob Hope. I feel like he was an old game show host. I could be wrong. Or maybe he was a comedian. I don't know why I'm hearing Bob Hope. And also, the name Edward has been coming through. I've heard the name Edward. Edward and Connor. So those initials or names could be significant for someone, because all week I've been hearing those two names. And I know Edward Cullen, I don't know, I think is a character on Twilight. So there could be something significant about that. I just got a tingles on my left temple when I said that. And I heard the word buzz. Like B-U-Z-Z, buzz. Does anyone remember the game Buzz? I keep asking people that for some reason. When I was younger, I swear, there was, like, a drinking game, like, my sister used to play, my older sister, Buzz. And you had to do, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Buzz. Like, every time you multiples of 7, or the number 7 in it, you had to say Buzz. I don't know why that's coming through. Like, nostalgia, drinking games, there could be something around that. But also you could be seeing repeating 7s. And that phrase, 432 hertz, could also be significant. And the music paused for some reason. I just realized that. Interesting. So the subliminal that came on right when I started this is 432 hertz subliminal for money, wealth, and success. Law of assumption. Someone could be working with the law of assumption. Actually, something came up on my page the other day from I don't know what she calls herself. I guess she's an influencer. I don't really know. But I don't follow her, but she comes up on my page all the time. And I just found out that she actually lives in Seattle. And I just thought that was really synchronistic, because she's been coming off my page for, like, a year. And I just found out when I got here that she lives in Seattle. But why this is synchronistic is because she kept talking about the law of assumption, which I've heard of, for a really long time. but it felt like a really good time to focus right now, or I should say refocus on the law of assumption. So some of you could be feeling that pull as well, or be working on that in some way, or like utilizing that. I'm seeing 7777 again, and my sister's cat, Freya, she's gray and beautiful, just came up during this part of the transmission. She's purring, you may hear her in the background. But the Norse goddess Freya could be significant for someone. I'm also seeing Athena, Isis, Aphrodite, Persephone, Odin. I feel like there's just so many archetypes coming through all of a sudden. It's like I see like 3 and then 3 more, and then they're all just like, you could have like I know my friend experiences this, where she may not be able to see clearly who's with her energetically, but she'll see like a circle. I think she calls it the circle of 12 around her, and they're like these shadows, and they kind of show themselves, but like in a shadow way. But it's not like scary. It's like she knows, she can like feel their aura, but she can't exactly tell who it is. That could be significant for someone. Now my nose is like going crazy as I'm talking about this, and I just feel like all of a sudden I'm like, I have like light itches on me, like, so you could feel things through your clear sentience, your clear feeling, or maybe like some beings are connecting with you that way. Okay. Yeah, this was supposed to be like a 3-minute recording, and I'm already going on 41 minutes. Oh my. Okay. You could be seeing rainbows, and white cars were also coming through. White cars. Don't know why exactly. There could be something significant about white cars. Oh, yeah. Okay. Telekinesis. I already mentioned that, but that word, telekinetic, telekinesis, telepathy, same thing. Repeating. Also, the phrase the originals and Vega, the star system Vega, was coming through extremely strongly. Tinned fish could be significant for someone. Pisces. Saturn has been coming through very intensely. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it here. I suppose if a summarization or a recap wanted to come through, there is a physicalization, is that a word, of internal desires that may feel like there's been restrictions, and the crown telekinetic telepathic connections are deepening and elevating. So you may feel like you're going through some sort of reorg, whether you're literally like, if you're an entrepreneur or have your own business or something, you may be feeling the need to like reorg something. And I think most of us who are drawn to this sort of octave of consciousness that I'm pulling through here, it's like our whole pie, our whole, that wheel, right? Our whole lives are sort of interconnected in a way of we're trying to establish some sort of like balance. So if that's you, if that's how you're feeling connected to this, it does feel like there's a reorg in like most area. Like this internal reorg is like coming through externally, like I mentioned. And the restrictions are, I don't even know if I love the word restrictions, but it maybe have been perceived that way. And there's also like this idea of stagnancy that's like also protection. The word perseverance is coming through, and the lymph system and the fascia in the body has been so highlighted lately. And the idea if you're feeling like retention, like fluid retention, bloating, things like this, like, and you're not already exploring the fascia and the lymphatic system, there's so much information alone about that I'm not going to get into it now at this moment, but that does feel like a clue for someone. And if you want to talk more about that, please comment and I can talk more about it for sure, because I love talking about it. But yeah, so there could be also a release in the physical vessel in some way. Like perhaps you've been having feeling of like, yeah, like backups, bloating, like this type of thing. It doesn't have to be for everyone, but the hip is being highlighted again. Someone here could have like tight hips or sciatica, something with the hip pain that just keeps coming through. And my battery on my computer just came on the signal for low battery, and I just started to feel a little bit of heartburn. Also, digestive enzymes have been coming up a lot. That could be relevant for someone. Low battery, recharging battery. Your electronics may also be like mirroring back to you. I was trying to like work on something last night and my computer just like kept overheating, and it wasn't plugged in or anything. And I was like, oh, maybe this is not the right time. So there's something about that as well. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you.